So I'm now working on the electronics placement, and I have a problem, well, let's call it lack of space or lack of imagination for space for the receiver. So I'm thinking of smashing everything together and put it something like this. It will be right next or right over the tube. Yes, something like that. Probably not ideal, but yeah, should work. Should be fine. So, what did I do with the electronics? So, out of the battery, this from stock, it comes with 14 AWG American wire gauge, and I'm going to replace it. Well, I already replaced it. I took it out from the battery. The wires that come stock on these ones for the motors are one size smaller, I believe. Yeah, these are 16. So they come on the battery with 14. I replace it with 16. And on the motors I will go, I believe, with 18. So that's what I'll be doing. I like putting plugs, so I'll be putting plugs on the motors. Anyway, this battery lead will be very short because the battery plug is, this will probably be out of focus, but the battery plug is right here, so it will be quite short. And then these wires, the wires for the, I'll probably put it like this so the wires go on top, which is always good, and then they will turn back to go on the receiver. That will go somewhere here, like so. And yeah, and then I have to sort out as well the power to the servos, which will come from the battery straight 3S. So I still have to see how I'm going to do that. I don't know if I'll pull the power for the servos straight from the ESC or straight from the plug, which will be actually not so far off, will be more or less here where my hand is, maybe a bit more. So I'm still debating on that. Yeah, and that's what I'll be doing now. So here are the electronics. This is double BR Holmes Hobbies BR Mini, whatever they're called. And this is my cheap receiver, 6 channels. I want to keep this as 3S only, but I think it will be quite slow. The reason I want to keep it 3S is because I'm powering the servos with straight 3S power. So I changed things a little bit. I decided to try out the Holmes Hobbies BLS SHV 500 V3. John, you have to keep these names shorter, come on. Yeah, so I decided to try out that one. One thing that I was not so happy with was just it's a bigger servo, especially the bottom part of the servo is like 2-3 millimeters taller, which doesn't seem like much, and it isn't much, but it does make a difference. So I have this kit here that also serves as a battery holder, and that one was not so happy because it was made for the Futaba servo and it changed a little bit. Also, it is I was planning to run the Holmes Hobby servo on the rear, but then I put it on the scales and it's like I think 13 or 15 grams heavier, and I thought, well, I have no preference at this time because I didn't test the Futaba on 3S and I did not test this one as well, so I might as well put it in the front, and I mean, why not? But it looks to be okay. The electronics, it looks like a bit of a spaghetti mess, but I mean, it's really complicated. I tried to keep everything as tight as possible, as small as possible. I even made a mistake here. You will not see. These motor wires here, they are like so short because I made a mistake and I cut them too short. Yeah, decided to keep the Holmes Hobbies 35 turn motors. Just yeah, everything else is straight. I have this plug here for the servo on the rear, the Futaba, and basically that's it. So this is the final assembly of the Super. Everything is finished. So we have inside here of these tubes here, I have some studs, so I was just putting some Loctite on them and torquing them up. This printed part has the last bolt, so I don't need these spacers, and I didn't need this, of course. I had these long spacers here, the big ones. They were intended to fill up all this space, but it kind of looks cool and I wanted to try it out. I had problems with the one I printed at home, and I also had problems with this because it apparently also shrank a little bit, so I had to hollow out these holes. You cannot see from there, but they are quite a bit hollowed out. So I'm going to change the nuts from normal nuts to locking nuts, and basically finishing assembly, and then I'll show you.